My prediction of Draymond Green not getting suspended was obviously wrong, and I have to say I'm happy to be wrong. This is one of the few times I like being wrong because I thought he should get suspended, and I didn't think the league would actually do it. I thought they were going to give him a pass like they always did, but they actually made the right decision in suspending him. So I think he deserved it. I feel he deserved more than one game, to be honest with you. And I'll tell the reason later on in this video, but he definitely deserved to get suspended. I'm going to read out the reasoning on why they suspended him. So according to Joe Dumars, who's in charge of giving suspensions, he has that position of executive vice president of basketball operations for the league. So here's what Joe said, quote unquote, was based in part of Green's history of unsportsmanlike acts. So what really pushed the league to suspend Draymond was just the way he acted during the time when they were deciding whether or not to toss him out of the game. If you saw the game, you would see Draymond. He was egging on the crowd. He was trying to incite them. He was trying to troll them as hard as he could. He was basically pissing them off and daring them to do something, which I thought was pretty stupid because you just never know when one fan can get crazy about these types of things. Like you're risking a malice in a palace type of situation. All it takes is one drunk guy to get emotional and throw something at him, and suddenly we have a huge brawl taking place again. And it's not a good look, especially during the playoffs, for something potentially like that to happen. It's horrible publicity for the league. This is the type of this is during the type of the time when the league is actually trying to get good publicity. This time of year is when the league tries to get its best publicity. The playoffs is where the league is supposed to allegedly shine. So that's bad PR if something horrible like that did happen during that game. And Draymond risked that for the league. So I'm sure they took strongly into account just all the possible ramifications his act could have had during the game. How it could have endangered his team, fans, the Sacramento Kings. So he created an unsafe environment, but I'm still disappointed in the league in the sense that it took Draymond acting like a dumb fool, trying to do his poor man's imitation of Hulk Hogan to get suspended, that they probably would not have suspended him had he just stomped on Sabonis's sternum. They would not have cared, but it was the fact that the way he acted afterwards is what pushed them to do it, which shows to me the league is profoundly stupid like they always are. Like, just to me, it's ridiculous. It took them something extreme to do the right thing, and it's just, I shake my head because it just shows again the league is a clown show. They're ran by clowns. Silver is a clown. It's just disappointing that they're just that stupid when it comes to this stuff. I know people are gonna say like, well, you just hate Draymond, but let me ask you this question: if some regular player did the same thing to Steph Curry, just stomped on him as hard as he could, and let's say he acted calmly afterwards and went to the bench and didn't make the scene Draymond did, do you not think that the league would not suspend that player for an excessive amount of games? I think so. I definitely think so. Now I just want to talk about the media briefly, just being upset and emotional about the suspension. To me, it's ridiculous and stupid because it just shows, again, how much society has declined in the last 20-some years. What used to be morally unacceptable is now morally acceptable by a lot of people, and that includes the media. I remember growing up during the 90s and seeing guys get suspended for even less than what Draymond did. I remember Dennis Rodman just hip checking John Stockton back in the 94 playoffs and getting one game for that. And that was during a regular play in the half court. He did it. And it was not as bad as what Draymond did to Sabonis. I remember Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning getting suspended for 2 games for allegedly fighting when they didn't even connect on any of their punches or hits. They missed and they still got suspended. So there was a lot more, I would say, accountability back then for just bad behavior. And I remember just how much heat Alonzo Mourning took for that fight with Larry Johnson many years ago, in which he didn't even connect. They were calling him all these names in the media, saying he's out of control and he deserves this. And just, to me, it's really crazy how things have changed now, where the media actually gets turned on by this stuff. I saw that one idiot on ESPN. His name is Greeny or Greenberg. I know his nickname is Greeny. And I remember him saying, like, well, I like it when Draymond does this. I enjoy it. It really gets me excited. He sounded like a woman being turned on by some dude. I just find it weird when a bunch of guys really enjoy this type of drama. For me, I don't give a shit about the troll games when it comes to the actual game. I never enjoyed Dennis Rodman as a player. I never found that stuff entertaining, at least for me. I just like to see good competitive basketball played at both ends of the court. I don't need to see just the dirtiness, and especially with Draymond, he gets away with a lot of shit. I remember hearing Stephen A say, like, hey, it's a travesty. He's going to get suspended. Even people who don't like Draymond would like to see him play. I fucking hate Draymond. I'm actually glad not to see him play because what he's allowed to get away with is despicable. It's despicable because other players are not allowed the same leeway Draymond is to play dirty. So I think that to me is just outrageous. So yeah, I do enjoy not seeing him on the court. And hell, if the Kings pull this off, I don't give a shit that they won this series partly and due to Draymond not playing in Game 3. Somehow they pull off this miracle and they beat the Warriors. I predicted the Warriors would actually win this series, so it's another thing I'd be happy to be wrong about. But it just goes to show you that the media is really corrupt and they lack morals, man. Like I feel Draymond could take a gun to a game or a knife and just stab someone or shoot someone, and they would make 50 excuses to why he should not be suspended for it. I can just see them saying like, well, he didn't mean to position the gun that way, okay? You can't blame him, okay? He didn't tell the bullets to hurt that person. It's just straight up stupid. Just the gaslighting that these guys do for Draymond's crazy. I want to make one last point about just JJ Redick complaining about just this happening and how it is unfair and saying that the Kings get away with fouls. To me, that was ridiculous, and it shows that he has some biases and he has some favoritism towards the Warriors. When does media complain about refs? I've never seen that before. The only time I can recall the media complain about the refs, and it was legit, was 2002 during Lakers-Kings Game 6. Just that game was super corrupt, and everyone saw it in front of their eyes. But I don't see no blatant corruption in these games with the Warriors Kings, so I just don't get why JJ's emotional and butthurt about it. And then he was defending Draymond, so like he hasn't done anything dirty in the playoffs in the last 7 years since 2016. Draymond's done a lot of dirty shit. Just because he didn't get ejected out of a game during the playoffs in the last 7 years doesn't mean he hasn't pulled dirty plays. He last year, for example, he fucking did a eye poke on Jokic, an eye gouge. Like you could find that video from last year. Sure, they didn't call like a technical or maybe a flagrant on him, but it was dirty. He's done plenty of these low-key dirty tactics on a lot of people. I remember just back in 2018 when he choked Harden in Game 1. He literally came up to him and like put his hand around his neck. Just this guy has gotten to play with kid gloves. He's allowed to be extra dirty compared to everybody else. And just for the media to be blind by it just tells you one or two things: that A, they're stupid. B, they're biased. They really want the Warriors to go all the way. C, they're being controlled by special entities above them. Just the executives they report to are telling them to favor Draymond and to be biased towards helping him. I'm sure they've gotten those orders from their bosses. And I think D, some of these guys have friendships with Draymond, so they can't be honest or objective about this. I look at Stephen A. I look at JJ Redick. I look at Colin Cowherd, also known as Colin Cowturd in my eyes. These guys are all biased. And the next thing I just want to point out is that I look at the situation of Sabonis, and the reason why I feel Draymond should be suspended for more games is that if you look up the injury he got, a sternum bruise, that's some serious shit. People usually don't get that injury unless they're in a car accident. So that shows you how much damage Draymond did when these idiots were saying that it wasn't really that bad. That's pretty bad. I looked it up online how long it takes for someone to heal from that injury. It takes usually 2 to 4 weeks, and they have to have a lot of rest. So take into account where your sternum is located. It's right in the middle of your chest, the top part of your body. It's the chest area. Right in the middle, that's your sternum. And so with this injury, I've read that the slightest contact with the sternum can be very painful for someone who has a sternum bruise. So this could really affect Sabonis' ability to play in the series. He might miss another game because of this. So I think Draymond should be suspended for for as many games that Sabonis cannot play. And even if Sabonis can come back, he's not at full strength. That's why I think Draymond should be suspended for at least 2 games. He should suffer the punishment and shame for being that stupid. I don't care if it's the playoffs. I feel like a lot of these media people are like kids. They don't act like mature adults anymore. The point of giving out punishment is for someone to suffer and learn so they don't do the same shit again. That's all of the point of punishment. It doesn't matter if they had something special planned. It's punishment for a reason. People are not going to learn from their punishment if it's not a legit punishment. That's just the truth about human nature. If you know you're going to get severely punished for doing something stupid, you're going to be deterred from doing it. You realize that's even as a kid when it comes to your parents, and even at your whatever job you work at, you realize there's consequences for doing stupid things. I just think we live in an environment with a bunch of nonsense going on, especially with the media and all these other idiots that try to gaslight us when it comes to morals. So I know that's just a long rant, but that's how I feel about this situation.